Hey, Blake T. Wild here. You may also know me as Smokey's Videos. And I'm back with Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 5. The highly anticipated video is finally here, and it's being split up into two parts, because the way that this Ultimate Collection issue volume works is it combines a little, like, 7-issue little mini-event involving the Sinister Six with the normal issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. And they tonally clash like crazy. The first half of this book is just so different from the second half of the book. You'll see. You'll see once I make the video and you watch it. So I decided, let's just split these up. It's a little easier to digest that way. And we're getting into an interesting point in time where there are only 7 Ultimate Collection volumes of Ultimate Spider-Man released. And this is Volume 5. Thankfully, Marvel are releasing the omnibuses of Ultimate Spider-Man, but this, when I first started this journey into Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 7 came out that year. And I was like, oh, this is great. By the time I get to close to this point of Volume 7, I'm sure Marvel will have plenty of more editions that I can just keep listing it off this way. But no. They haven't published one since 2017, which means that I have been doing this for 6 years now, and that just really got to me. I really noted something in my life at that point when I realized that. But anyway, thankfully Marvel are releasing the omnibuses of Ultimate Spider-Man, so I can have it in my physical collection that way, and I can just keep on chugging on this money pony, baby. But speaking of buying great comics, I will be attending Tucson Comic Con, September 1st to the 3rd, 2023, Labor Day weekend, baby. And there you can pick up The Custodians, Issue 1, 64 pages of just pure comic goodness, fully colored and fully lettered, fully every single thing you see in this book, I made myself. All the fake advertisements in here, every single one of these things I wrote myself. Nothing here is just taken directly from like a comic book page and just posted on here. I made the whole layout of everything you see in this book was made by hand by myself. But I will be selling these also on my Etsy store, blaketwild.etsy.com. Check it out. But if you don't want to worry about shipping or waiting on the mail, if you're going to be in the Phoenix, Tucson area or just general Arizona area and you're going to Phoenix and you're going to Tucson Comic Con, then check me out, booth AA153, I believe. But I will be there. It's sort of like right next door to where all the celebrities are being held. That makes it sound like they're animals in cages, which they kind of are. But check me out there. I'll also be attending YumaCon later this year in October, so if you're in the southern sort of Arizona area, check it out. It's October 7th and 8th. I'll be selling Custodians. I'll be selling Destructo Boy, but not just any Destructo Boy. Destructo Boy issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's right. Destructo Boy is now a complete set. You can get all 5 issues. They are now available if I can get them all in my hands. Check that out for a comic collection. How good does that look? These are also all available on my Etsy shop. And each purchase of Destructo Boy comes with a free sketch of any character of your choosing. I'll draw Batman. I'll draw Superman. One time I drew a K-pop superstar for somebody. I'll draw anything. There's like a little box that pops up while you're checking out, and it'll say like, write something here. You write whoever you want. If you don't want anything, you don't have to. It's up to you. But fucking, oh my god. Destructo Boy issues 1 through 5 are on sale now. Etsy.com. Alongside the Custodians, Agents of Cross. And at the conventions, I will also be selling plenty of posters, which you're seeing right here. Wow. Whoa. Nice. Check it out. Thanks. Released in 2003, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Mark Bagley, this is Ultimate Spider-Man Ultimate Collection Volume 5. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. several months later, long enough that everything is more or less back to normal, Aunt May tells Peter and Gwen that she doesn't want any hanky-panky while she's gone to visit family in Florida for a week. Gwen and Peter make fun of her for saying hanky-panky, and then Aunt May is like, oh, jeez, now I gotta hear it in stereo. Aunt May then gives them $300 for food or emergencies, tells them to contact the Watsons down the street if there's anything serious, then she kisses their foreheads and tells them that she loves them, and heads away.
Notice how she didn't say, no parties.
Yeah, that's because we don't have any friends. The two head back inside, and Gwen asks for her half of the loot. That night, Peter wonders many things, most of which are the typical problems of a teenager. He doesn't have any money, he's always hungry, he wonders how Mary Jane is since she's still grounded. He thinks about taking her out on a date, a real date, an adult date, like a dinner and a movie. And then he thinks about Spider-Man, and then he thinks about Uncle Ben. And that's when he takes notice of the TV, which is reporting on the critically acclaimed cult film director Sam Raimi helming a Spider-Man movie, which is to begin filming in New York very shortly. Then the TV cuts to an exclusive interview with Avi Arad, real-life producer of pretty much all the Spider-Man films. And they officially announce that Tobey Maguire has been cast as Spider-Man himself. Elsewhere, Otto Octavius has since been transferred to Rikers, and a guard informs him that there's going to be a Spider-Man movie, and, best of all, the studio optioned Otto's life story from his ex-wife. At Midtown High, Kong tries to convince Flash to come with him to audition to be an extra in the movie. Liz invites herself and Mary Jane. Mary Jane declines because she's grounded. And at the Triskelion, lab techs wonder what a strange thunking noise is when Doc Ock's tentacles blast out of the containment locker and escape. Why have they not just destroyed these legs already? Fucking shoot him into the sun or something. This keeps happening. About a week or so later, at the film set for Spider-Man, Sam Raimi calls cut and asks Tobey what's wrong. Tobey says that the mask keeps shifting and he can't see anything when the real Spider-Man appears. He tells Tobey he sucks, the rest of the crew that they suck, but Sam Raimi's pretty cool because the Evil Dead movies are great. Avi Arad tells the camera operator to start rolling on the real Spider-Man as he leaps around, chastising the film production and making fun of them for not being able to properly recreate his acrobatic athletics. Then he asks Avi Arad how they can make a movie without his permission, to which Spider-Man quickly learns that since he's a public figure, they don't need his permission. All they needed was to obtain the rights from Octavius' ex-wife and Norman Osborn's half-sister for their roles in the story, and they already did that. Then Sam Raimi starts asking Spider-Man what Osborn was really like, and what his motivation was to become the Green Goblin. Avi Arad offers to pay Spider-Man to take his mask off, and says that, hey, we'll make a deal if we get your film rights. Then he tells him that because they're filming Spidey right now, they can just take that footage and edit it into the film and save $1.2 million on special effects, because that's how Hollywood works. Always trying to cut corners. Then Spider-Man web slings away and says that everyone here sucks. And at Rikers, Ock's tentacles break him and all the other prisoners out in a massive riot. Later, Otto Octavius returns to his old home and finds its new residents, whom he promptly kills. While elsewhere in New York, Kong auditions for a role in 2004's Spider-Man. Well, actually, if it's 2004 when this came out, it'd probably be 2005's Spider-Man. The casting agent likes him so much that they give him a role in the film as like an extra. And the next day, Kong excitedly tells his friends that he got an actual speaking role in a feature film, in which he says, "Look up! In the sky, it's Spider-Man!" Liz is excited for him, but Flash makes fun of him. And Gwen stands alone off to the side, listening in, leaning against a locker, and suddenly bursts out,
Is there, like, a part in the script where Spider-Man, like, kills my dad?
She then storms off and MJ pleads with Peter to go talk to her. They follow her outside and Peter asks why she's so upset about Spider-Man, even after the police found the actual guy who killed her dad. She says that someone dressed up as Spider-Man and killed her father, and what happened constantly stuck in her mind every day, no matter what she tries to do to distract herself. Some maniac in a costume killed her father for seemingly no reason, and now they're making a movie about the guy he dressed up as. And it's, oh, everybody's favorite hero, Spider-Man. Where was the real Spider-Man when her dad died? Why didn't he save him? And then she storms off. MJ says it's not about Peter and that she's more angry at the situation than Spider-Man. Peter says that between Gwen and the Spider-Man movie, which Kong is now making more money off of than Peter, all that shit that happened a few months ago with Osborn and the others, it's all just getting to be too much for him. and he wishes he just had a crazy villain around to beat the crap out of. Meanwhile, Otto Octavius relaxes in a bathrobe as he speaks to his tentacles and figures out what they're gonna do next. He's definitely not going after Parker because he has really no reason to, and that's the first place that S.H.I.E.L.D. and the authorities are gonna look. Then the tentacles suggest something else, and they change the channel to a news report on the production of Spider-Man. Coincidentally, right as Rosalita Octavius is being interviewed, Otto becomes enraged and destroys the home. And later, Gwen walks home and notices a lot of black SUVs parked in the neighborhood, as well as some conspicuous-looking workers.
All of you shall bow before the genius of the one true Mysterio!
Look! Up in the sky! It's Spider-Man!
And cut.
Great job, Bruce. Bruce Campbell is helped off set as they prepare for another scene, and Avi asks an assistant if he's still there. Then everyone glances up and looks at Spider-Man, who's just perched on the side of a building watching them. Avi asks if they already have a camera filming him, and Sam says they do, but he suggests that maybe they should just, leave him alone. He's not really bothering them in any way. Then a van is launched through the set and Doc Ock appears. He tries to go after his ex-wife when Spider-Man, the real one, leaps into action. Also, Doc Ock, just coincidentally enough, is wearing a costume similar to his appearance in Spider-Man 2. Meanwhile, at home, Gwen gets super paranoid because the black SUVs are moving around and a bunch of random people, even those she didn't see, break out into sprints into the black SUVs, and they all speed off. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Spidey and Doc Ock fight for a while as the film crews panic, and Avi Arad, Sam Raimi, and Tobey Maguire watch on in horror.
Why are you here, Parker? Why are you everywhere I am? Because I love you, Otto. Whatever perverse thrill you get out of mocking me is nothing compared to...
Not to interrupt yet another one of your villainous rants.
It sounded like you were getting a really good one in there. But I just have to know, where do you keep escaping from? How do you keep getting those arms back? Why haven't they chopped them up or something?
Spider-Man is grabbed by Ock and electrocuted. Ock prepares to begin another monologue when Bruce Campbell's stunt double runs away in fear, distracting him. Otto explains that he didn't even come here for Peter, but since the opportunity presents itself, well, hey, two birds, one stone. Then he's struck on the head by a camera from a black stuntman named Leroy, and Peter says, "Whoa, I thought I got revamped for a second." Okay, that's insane, because this is 2004, and Miles Morales wouldn't be introduced by Brian Michael Bendis until 2011? And according to the Wikipedia page, the initial discussion for a black Spider-Man, specifically the Ultimate Universe, came around in 2008. That episode of Community with Donald Glover wasn't until 2010. Anyway, the courageous Leroy is launched away by Ock's tentacle, and Spider-Man is able to gain the upper hand and swings Otto around and into a trailer. Unfortunately, he's then struck out of the set and down onto a freeway or whatever it's called in New York. And back at the Parker residence, Gwen is trying to calm down when MJ arrives with great news. She's now a free woman who has officially been ungrounded because, get this, her mom finally kicked her dad out of the house. And he did! He left! He's gone! She calls to Peter, but Gwen tells her that he's not here. They make some small talk and chill in the living room when they see the news of Spider-Man and Doc Ock fighting at the Lincoln Tunnel. MJ says she forgot to do something back at home and quickly leaves. And Gwen has a revelation. Spidey and Doc duke it out in a very crowded Lincoln Tunnel until Spidey takes one hit too many and blacks out. Then he wakes up bound in a private jet. Oh no. Thankfully, the only creep on board is Doc Ock, who's only gonna kill him. Peter asks what this is all about, and Ock removes his mask and strikes Peter in the face. Peter remarks that he loosened a tooth and that, oh god. Ock slides his weird little tendril pincers into Peter's mouth and rips out a tooth as Peter cries in agony, and the pilot can do nothing but sit and listen. Then Ock uses Peter's webs to gag him as he explains that Peter is here to serve him one purpose. Then he grabs a glass of champagne and pours himself a drink. Eventually, the plane lands in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Ock gets out with the pilot and plans his next move when Spidey leaps out of the plane, having escaped his confines. He battles Octavius yet again. He pauses during the flight and notices a sign in Portuguese that says, "No longer in America." Spidey gives Ock the beatdown until Brazilian forces arrive at gunpoint. Then a federal agent arrives, and Spidey explains that Dr. Octopus kidnapped him from America and brought him here for some reason. The pilot corroborates the story, but the agent says that they both need to come in for questioning. Spidey then leaps away and disappears into the night. A few minutes later, the plane takes off from the airport with a stowaway on board. 32 minutes after the takeoff, Spidey is in the freezing cargo hold, the same place where airlines put animals, so he cracks open some suitcases until he finds enough warm clothing. A lot of Hello Kitty stuff is what he finds. 3 hours later, the plane lands. He discovers that he's in Atlanta. Then he runs around until he finds a trunk bound for Newark Airport. About another 3 hours later, the plane lands in Newark, and Spider-Man is found in the cargo hold by some very startled employees, and he leaps out and sprints through the airport. Coincidentally, this is also the day that Aunt May is coming home. An announcement is sent out alerting passengers that the terminal is currently shut down due to a security situation, and Spider-Man unknowingly races past Aunt May, chased down by several security guards. Peter hitches rides out of Newark and races Aunt May home. He leaps over rooftops, sprints atop telephone poles. He succeeds! He lands in the backyard and runs into the basement.
Okay. As terrible as that was, at least Otto is in custody. Bad guy got caught. Justice is served. A whole lot worse could have happened. Gwen?
You did it, didn't you? You are the one that killed my father. It was you.
Gwen, where did you get a gun?
It was my father's.
Gwen, I didn't kill your father.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. A man and a Spider-Man.
I know, but it wasn't me. Listen to me, please, listen to me. Listen to me. I didn't kill your dad. I didn't. I am Spider-Man. Yes, okay, I am him. But I would never in a million years kill anyone. It's the opposite of what my whole entire life is about. I'm trying to help people, not hurt them. The cops told you it was a copycat guy. They told you that. The guy admitted to it. I was with you, Gwen, right next to you all day when your dad died. I was there when you found out. I would have done anything for that to not have happened to your dad, Gwen, but I wasn't there. How could I have been in Atlantic City and next to you? I'm sorry. I didn't tell you who I am. I don't want Aunt May or you or anyone to know. Please believe me. I don't want her to know. She just couldn't handle it. Not yet, at least. Please, Gwen. Please, I did not kill your father.
Peter then quickly changes as May stands at the doorway of the basement. He comes up and tells her he fell asleep at his computer. Then she notices his face, and then he says he got whacked by a ball in gym class, and a tooth popped out. He didn't want to call her because he didn't want her to freak out, and she freaks out and grabs the phone and calls the dentist immediately to make an appointment. Then she tells him he is definitely not going to school today because he needs to rest. Later that day, after his dental appointment, Peter lies passed out on the bed when MJ walks in and softly wakes him up. Peter freaks out and jumps out of bed, startling MJ. Then they calm down and hug and catch up on what's happened, and MJ shows him the news, Fox News for some reason, that states that Ock is in custody by S.H.I.E.L.D. in Brazil, and Spider-Man's current whereabouts are still unknown. Although they do have recordings of Spider-Man atop various vehicles, and eyewitness reports of a cross-dressing Spider-Man racing through Newark Airport. Then Avi Arad is interviewed and says that they'll assess what footage they have from the fight and see if they can't make it work for the film. Peter asks MJ if she talked to Gwen at school. She says Gwen wasn't there, and Peter reveals that he told her the truth. Then Gwen walks in and says that she was going to find out eventually because she's not a stupid blonde, and she explains that she stayed in the backyard for about an hour until she then went to the movies and then hung out at the library where she looked up records of Peter's dad, Richard Parker. Then she cleared her head and came back home. She asks who else knows, and Peter reveals it's just the three of them, ignoring all the villains he's fought, the X-Men, the Ultimates, and Eddie Brock. Gwen tells Peter that she'll never betray him, especially not after everything he and his aunt have done for her.
You know, now that I'm like in the know, I'm like, oh, now I get it. Now I see why Peter's such a total flake.
Exactly.
He was like this before.
No, before I was a dork. Now, I'm mysterious.
Whatever. You're a good guy, Peter. I swear to God. I don't know how you could possibly put up with half of the crap of what you do.
I need a psychiatrist.
I wasn't really going to shoot you.
Yeah, I know.
How?
I have a spider sense.
You have... what?
I like I know when I'm in danger.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I really had hoped to never deal with you again, Otto. But as leader of the World Peacekeeping Task Force, I have hard decisions to make. One decision I made was to keep these metal arms of yours intact while our scientists examine them. That decision was a mistake. I admit I misjudged you. Your connection, how insane you are. You've murdered dozens, and I imagine will continue to do so with these little tentacles of yours. And because of that, I arranged our special little meeting here tonight. You're sedated just enough so that you can't control your arms mentally, but not so much that you'll miss out on what's about to happen. No! 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 No, God, please, it was me, not them! It was me! Oh, God, it was me, not them! No, get him the fuck out of here. No. And keep an eye on those for a while, just in case. Yes, sir. Spider-Man premieres! It's the biggest box office opening in history, a staggering $176 million opening weekend with $545 million worldwide after only 4 days. And it includes actual footage of Spidey's real fight with Doc Ock. The next day at school after the premiere, I don't know, maybe it was a 4-day weekend, all the girls flocked to Kong for being in the movie. Kong answers questions and asks if Peter and MJ have seen it yet. MJ says that they haven't gotten the chance, and Kong happily tells them that he thinks they'll really enjoy it if they get the chance to, because it's a really great movie, it's so good. And Peter begrudgingly replies, "Yeah, I heard it's awesome." The end.